Well, I like it.
John probably also feverishly following the legal tampering window in the NFL, which officially kicked off yesterday at noon, and just a flurry of moves across the NFL.
Nothing to talk about today.
Including with the Commanders.
How's Kirk Cousins going to survive with that paltry salary?
People can goof on Kirk Cousins all they want. They can goof on him all they want, but that dude
He's made brilliant career moves.
He is the king of making big fat deals.
Yeah. I didn't see the numbers
in the NFL.
for him. What was the number?
4,180.
Wow. Yeah.
And, I mean, he's a durable guy.
Makes sense.
I would expect
$100 million guaranteed.
He's going to make basically every dollar of that deal, like unless he suffers some sort of catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
Like he's going to make all that money.
Yep, you're right.
I know that a lot of people say never pay attention to the big number, just pay attention to the guaranteed money. But for a quarterback, he's going to make that money.
He's just had the perfect situation at all of his stops.
Yep.
Getting franchised back-to-back, then signing a big deal in Minnesota, then becoming an unrestricted free agent, signing another big – I mean, he just made brilliant moves.
I mean, behind closed doors, he's probably laughing with his agent when his agent came back with the news that, well, Minnesota's not going to fully guarantee your next deal. And he's like, okay, well, then I'll just go into free agency and get a big fat deal from the Falcons, and we'll just leave the Vikings in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons were willing to pay more than the Vikings. Right. It comes down to that. It's pretty simple.
Absolutely.
Well, they've got Sam Darnold now.
They got Sam Darnold. Yeah.
that's
their backup
to
plan.
me, that's a mind-numbing plan going forward.
They're in
for
a
them.
pickle.
I don't think they wanted that, but I
could see them.
I'm sure they didn't
They
want
were in a spot where they were going to get outbid.
I could see them drafting a quarterback in the first round.
No doubt.
Where did they pick?
11,
10 or 11.
Yeah,
So
pretty sure it's 11.
I could see them
J.J.
getting
McCarthy
a
spot
JJ or a Nix or a Penix. I could see that
So the Commanders, they were
because
busy.
they know Sam Darnold isn't going to be the future. I don't think.
So the Commanders, they were busy yesterday. They made a lot of moves. The biggest headliner name is Austin Ekeler at running back. The news came out, I want to say around 6:30 or 7 p.m. last night that he was being added to the mix. He gets a 3-year deal that could be worth up to almost $11.5
They basically got him for peanuts.
dollars.
Yeah. They got him for nothing.
A pretty low deal for a guy who's as accomplished as he has been.
He's a touchdown machine.
Now, he had injury issues last year. He had a down year last year. Hopefully, he's going to have a reduced workload. He's not going to be the workhorse back.
No, but it's perfect with him and Robinson.
Great change of pace back, great third down receiving back, obviously.
And we talked about that yesterday.
I love that addition at
I
that
didn't
price.
think they would do that. I was shocked when they did it, but he's got it at such a low price. I guess you can't pass it up.
It's amazing how the dominoes fall and how fast they fall in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Because at running back, it was quiet for like an hour or two, and then it was just a flurry of news. Oh, Saquon, he's going to Philadelphia. Oh, let's see. Josh Jacobs, he's going to Green Bay. Green Bay is saying bye-bye Aaron Jones. Oh, the Bengals, they're releasing Joe Mixon. And the running backs are just bouncing around all over the place. You didn't know if the Commanders were going to get in. Antonio Gibson, he finds a new home.
Gibby.
What about
but
Austin
Henry
Ekeler did not sign.
is really good.
Henry is not signed yet.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been rumored to the Ravens.
Right.
That's been the rumor at this point.
Yeah, the first 2 days of the tampering, that's when all the big names and the big contracts start loading up. And then later in the week, then you'll start getting your 1 years, all the older guys that haven't gotten a deal yet. But all the big names go off the board in the first 48 hours.
He was the biggest name that you're familiar with, that fans are familiar with, Austin Ekeler. And I know we're going to go through each of the moves. I think the best move was the Frankie Luvu. And I had never really heard of him before. But he's a linebacker who had 125 total tackles last year. And then if you look at some of the next-gen stats, he's apparently great in pass coverage. Next-gen stats put out something, target rate, and some of it's a little over our heads. It's not terms we're really familiar with, 16th, but completion percentage was first, completion percentage over expected first, coverage success rate 5th amongst linebackers, receptions over expected 3rd amongst linebackers. When's the last time they actually had a linebacker who could cover?
And he's a guy whose sack numbers have gone up in the last 2 years as well. So he's had a nose for the quarterback of late, which is nice to see too.
I mean, you got to be. Who knows how these guys are going to work out? I mean, some of these guys, I don't know. I don't have a
crystal ball,
good bio on. I don't know anything about Nick Allegretti. But what you have to be, hopeful in is the fact that these are all positions of need.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have to hope that Adam Peters and all those guys in the front office, they know that these are upgrades.
I'll give you my grade.
And they're going to make these units better.
I'll give you my grade about week 8. I'm reserving my right to evaluate.
I mean, on paper, they all look great.
But I was excited. I thought, oh, Nick Gates, he fills the center role or guard. Andrew Wiley, they know him. He just came from Kansas City, even though he was lowly rated. Bieniemy knows him, obviously. Yeah, but you don't know until it works out.
Center was obviously a position of need. They went out and got somebody.
Yep.
And they got a guy who was in the Pro Bowl.
Biotish.
He was in the Pro Bowl 2 years ago.
So they did the move, too, where now they're weakening a division rival where they poach both Biotish at the center spot and Dorrance Armstrong at the defensive end spot, both from the Dallas Cowboys. You ship them in. You make the Cowboys weaker. Everybody wins.
The early part of the tampering period for the Commanders, once they got involved, like I don't think anything happened between 12 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
It felt a little bit like Ron Rivera. Oh, we're going back to the team.
Right.
It's a different guy, so we're not saying that. But when Ron Rivera did it, was like, oh, he's just plucking all these old Panthers.
Right.
And Dan Quinn, and I know Adam Peters is running the show, but they were plucking Cowboys. And they even plucked a guy from Carolina and Luvu.
Hey, as long as they're quality players, I'm okay with guys having relationships with former players.
Well, you're going to pick guys
stop.
you know. These are guys they know, they're familiar with.
I'm just saying it's the same criticism we had of Ron Rivera.
The difference is Ron had like 20 of them. He had
many of them.
And also, Rivera's players weren't very good.
And they were coming from a bad team.
So let's hope that these guys are good.
At least the Cowboys are decent.
Yeah.
You know. A little bit of a difference.
And they also add a new kicker. Brandon McManus gets a 1-year deal, $3.6 million.
I've had him on many a fantasy team.
He's been on a lot of fantasy teams.
When he was at Denver, he would hit boomers.
Sure.
So does that mean there's a competition or is Sly gone?
I don't think there's a competition.
Sly was a free agent?
I think it's Sly.
Bye, Sly.
Yeah,
it's
I'm fine with that.
Best of luck in your next
He's afraid,
city.
But they also, and I think it's also a good move because Sly was inconsistent, especially at extra points. And last year, McManus didn't miss an extra point.
Right.
And he missed 5 field goals, but 3 of the 5 were 50 yards or more. He's got a big leg.
He's going to be bitter when the ball doesn't carry like it did in Denver. But I'm sure he'll adjust. He has plenty of leg. He'll be
think,
okay.
At least right now, Commanders fans are really optimistic about the moves and feel good. And this is even before. Look, a couple of these moves happened after 9 p.m. I didn't see the Nick Allegretti thing or the McManus thing until this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I put up a poll on our Instagram page. Follow us there, Sports Junkies Radio, and 50% gave it a B, 36% A. So that's 86% right there. Only 14% C or lower in terms of grading what the Commanders had done through the first 4 moves. And the first 4 moves were edge, which was Dorrance Armstrong. Now, if you look into it, he wasn't a guy who was on the field a ton. I think he was only on the field for 40% of the snaps or something like that, but was an impact player, and obviously Quinn knows him.
Mm-hmm.
They get the center.
I trust that Quinn
Piatas.
can use this guy in a perfect situation, and he can be productive.
They get Luvu, a linebacker. They desperately need linebacker help. And then they get Ekeler to pair up with Brian Robinson. Those are the first 4 moves. And then overnight, you add Allegretti and McManus, toss in Zach Ertz. EB, you're talking about Charlie Casserly's formula of will there be 12 starters in year 1 that'll be there in year 3? These are a lot of starters.
We'll see.
You would hope.
We'll see. I'm reserving judgment. We'll see.
The Ekeler move is like an eyebrow raiser because he's been so productive when healthy.
Right.
20 touchdowns a year for a couple of years.
Right, but it tells you, though, where he kind of ranks, though, with the little amount of money that they gave him. Like, he got almost nothing.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, Tony Pollard signs for about 8 in Tennessee, and Ekeler gets, like, less than half of that. And I understand it's because he's older. He's coming off of a subpar year.
I mean, he's 28.
He's not really a full-time player.
It's not like he's 40.
I understand, but, like, in running back years, and that dude's had a lot of touches. He's had a lot of damage to his body. So, hopefully, Robinson and Rodriguez, those are your grinders and your pounders. And I would get Ekeler 12 to 14 touches per game.
That would be
to
a
kind
lot.
of keep him fresh.
That would
something
be
in that range.
If he got
You think
12 to
that's too
14,
many?
I just think it would
like
be
running the ball and receiving.
I
like,
understand,
combined.
but I think that would be there'd be an ideal scenario. Like that would be perfect. That's a lot. It's a lot of touches.
Maybe 8 to 10. I don't know. I don't know exactly what his role is going to look like.
He's going to get so many more than 8 to 10.
I think he's the primary back.
Austin Ekeler is going to get minimum.
I think he's the number one.
Austin Ekeler is going to get more than 8 to 10.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's the number one back.
Oh, I do.
He's going to touch the ball.
I think Robinson is going to be the guy that carries the ball 18, 20 times.
That's fine, but
Eckler's going to get 4 to 6 carries.
What?
No way,
I just don't see him being the primary back.
He's better than Brian Robinson.
Well, I'm not saying he's not a better player.
But he's a receiver.
So why are you not going to have the better player on the field
have him
more?
out there catching balls.
I don't think he's the Austin Ekeler that you think he is.
He's not the guy that
Maybe
you want
he is.
grinding between the tackles for.
He's not the Austin
15
Ekeler a couple
but
years ago.
But he's so explosive. He's going to touch the ball more than 8 to 10 times. He caught 107 balls.
No, I think
2
what
years
he
ago.
said originally is.
I said 12 to 14 touches per game.
All right, I like more than 14.
Total
8
touches.
to 10, way more than that. He's going to have 14, at minimum 14 or 15.
See how his health holds
Hopefully
up.
you're right. I'm remaining very neutral on it.
I think he's going to be really good for a young quarterback, whoever that is, when they draft him, to dump it off. He can get 6 to 8 catches a week. He can.
Oh, he's definitely capable of that.
Yes. I mean,
It's a matter of does his body hold up? Is he fully healthy? Is he 100% back?
I would think that he is. I mean, by September, I would think that he
Well, listen, I trusted that Anthony Lynn, he knows what he's getting.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously
he
comes on
coached him
comes on a great recommendation.
What was then San Diego, I guess.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Played in 14 games last year. Now the yards per carry went way down.
Yeah.
He's
down.
traditionally been around
touchdowns.
4.5.
He played in 14 games, but he was probably healthy for less than half of those games.
Yeah.
Like he was dragging, I think it was an ankle injury that really hampered him throughout the season.
Still caught 50 balls.
Yeah. No, he's an explosive pass catcher. And that's why they signed him. Because that's not what Robinson really does.
But when he's healthy, look at the year before that. He caught 107 balls.
Right.
I'm telling you, he can be a weapon. Austin Ekeler will be a weapon here.
I know.
Especially for a young quarterback.
Well, I hope he bounces back to that form of 3 or 4 years ago where he's scoring 18 or 20 touchdowns per season.
Yeah.
I feel like
That
it's a
would be
guy
amazing.
whose best years are behind him, but you guys are singing a different tune, so I hope you're right.
It's a good, low-cost, potentially high-reward type of signing.
Yeah.
If he bounces back.
I feel like if he was the Austin Ekeler you guys are describing, he'd be getting $10+ million a year.
Yeah, he would have signed deals like Jacobs.
Right.
And
Well, he's a smaller back. He's coming off the injury. I guess he's almost 29.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those are all factors.
If he's doing what you're saying, he'd be the greatest bargain in the league.
All right, well, let's just look at 2 years ago.
I know what he's done in the past.
It's not like it was 7 years ago. It was 2
but-
years ago.
Yeah, but these dudes smash into the
127
wall.
targets.
These dudes, we know this. We've seen a million running backs run 150 miles an hour into a brick wall, and they're just never the same.
All right. I mean,
I'm hoping
it's
that's
certainly
not the case.
possible. It's certainly possible for him to have a bad year.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to use him. They think if he's healthy, he's going to be an
And he's
integral
a
part
good,
of their offense.
like down to earth, like good dude.
Yeah, right.
I
type
heard
of
he's
guy.
like a good guy in the
Hard
locker room, all
worker.
that. Yeah.
And he's into fantasy football. He's a big fantasy nerd. He's one of us, which we love.
So let's hold on. Let's talk through the offensive line now. So we have, I guess we still have Wiley.
Yep.
We still have Cosme.
Mm-hmm.
We have, however you say his name. How do you say him?
Tyler Biotish.
Biotish.
Yep.
Allegretti.
Allegretti, and then we have a big hole at left
Hey,
tackle.
you see him
No,
draft
Sadiq
left tackle.
Charles.
Sadiq
So
Charles,
he's
I think.
penciled in
Can't
as
rely-
starting left
can't rely
tackle.
on
He's,
him.
he's a free agent, I think.
Oh, he is?
I'm pretty sure he's a
You know who
free
your
agent.
starting left tackle is? Either the 36th or 40th pick. Or you package those 2 picks up, move up, and grab your left tackle
Well,
at the
they're
end
not
of the
done.
first round.
They're going to
They're not
sign
done.
another 3 or 4 guys today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They'll be
would
still
think.
in the mix.
Cornelius Lucas.
He's also a free agent, I think.
You know what? That's a guy that they might want to sign.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he's
they're gonna
helped them
have
out in pinches before, and he's a decent depth guy. I wouldn't hate seeing him re-signed here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so lots to get to on the show today. We will be joined by Chris Russell. The Rooster's going to join us coming up at 8 a.m. We'll get deeper into the Commanders' free agent moves with him. And this is a great guest to have during legal tampering free agency. Warren Sharp, founder of Sharp Football Analysis. He'll help us break down all the moves from the Commanders and more. That's coming up at 9 right here on The Fan.